I will call on Mr. Speaker to graciously look at what was harmonized, what is in the gazetted copy, what was passed in the House and the Senate. You will find out what is before Nigerians, which is being sold to Nigerians at the Ministry of Information, which I personally went to buy the gazetted copies, are not what was passed. So there is no motion here, but Mr. Speaker, I'll be pleading that all the documents should be brought before the Committee of the Whole. The whole members should see what is in the gazetted, should see what they passed on the floor, so that we can make the relevant amendments. Mr. Speaker, this is a breach of the Constitution, this is a breach of our laws, and this should not be taken by this honourable House.
I'm not surprised, though. I'm not surprised. Because, of course, our president was governor of Lagos, and we know how now tax can be a major preoccupation for Lagos. We saw it.
So the tax master.
I know, everybody knows Tinubu for that one now. And I'm calling on the media and the public in general. All of us must look at for them to find out truth, to compare. Waiting the gazetted and waiting this paper to because some of the provisions of the tax law when they propose for next year, it shows that the Nigerian lawmakers see this thing like this person. Because what I think they're trying to do is to impose on Nigerians a strange tax regime, like a copy and paste tax regime from the first world in a third world country like Nigeria. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it wants to work.
Well, you know, they give us the resources where the other people, they give them their people.
Actually, I don't understand how they want to do it. So I'll be surprised. You should say this as somebody say this thing. So when this man raises this issue, I said, talk to myself. I think I'm like this. And this so-called relationship with France over tax, I don't understand exactly what's the intention. We have most countries are trying to break free from France. We now, they carry ourselves, go submit to France. Don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against France. But I still feel something is not wrong. Something is not right about the relationship with France. Even now, when they enter tax matter, see how the government policy, from subsidy to flotation of the naira, and now this tax law, we don't see it's beginning to look like nothing good comes out of this government. They don't look like that. Some developments these days, they make me wonder, what thing they really happen? Who really in charge of our Nigerian government? Irresponsibility. A responsible government is supposed to know, see, we can tell you, energy security is non-negotiable. They don't play with them. Because energy is to the living things, to what me and you, as me and you do so. What energy is to the economy is what air is to me and you.
You know, believe
they don't get game,
because they praise themselves, so they've done very well. So you know, believe
they don't get game. They can't pay contractors. They can't pay their own contractors. They can't pay National Assembly construction project fund. They can't fund it.
Please, under Order 6, Privileges, Rule 2, which says, any member may rise at any time to speak upon a matter of privilege suddenly arising. He shall be prepared to move without notice a motion declaring that a contempt or breach of privilege has been committed, or referring the matter to the Committee of Ethics and Privileges. Still, if the matter is raised in the Committee of the Whole, the chairman shall leave the chair on the order to report progress. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm here today because my privilege has been breached as a member of this all-important House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, we passed the tax laws on this floor, and Mr. Speaker, I took my time in the last 3 days to look at the gazetted pass copy, the vote and proceedings of the House of Representatives, and also went an extra mile to look at the vote and proceedings of the Senate of what was harmonized. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, what I passed on this floor is not what is gazetted. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I have all the copies, but I'm coming under privilege because I was here, I gave my vote, and it was counted, and I'm seeing something completely different. So on that note, on this privilege, I will call on Mr. Speaker to graciously look at what was harmonized, what is in the gazetted copy, what was passed in the House and the Senate. You will find out what is before Nigerians, which is being sold to Nigerians at the Ministry of Information, which I personally went to buy the gazetted copies, are not what was passed. So there is no motion here, but Mr. Speaker, I'll be pleading that all the documents should be brought before the committee of the whole. The whole members should see what is in the gazetted, should see what they passed on the floor, so that we can make the relevant amendments. Mr. Speaker, this is the breach of the Constitution, this is the breach of our laws, and this should not be taken by this Honorable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
House of Rep member, Abdul Samad Dasuki, don't call the attention of the House. Say, look, the gazetted copy of the tax law, when me, I don't take my time read, where then they circulate for Ministry of Information. I take my time read the one way say we pass as House of Rep. Can't go read back the one way say Senate pass. Not be the same thing, you know. Why they change up? This is very worrisome, especially at a time when Nigeria, they get a kind of joint body together with France to collect our taxes. And people, they worry about that because we will say most African countries where France colonized, they run away from them. Why are we embracing them for that? To the extent of handing over something where they are sensitive as a taxation to France. Even though FIRC don't come talk, say no. But did you see that statement by FIRC? Because it was very contradictory. But why do you think that we have a different gazetted copy from what the National Assembly had passed into law when it comes to the tax bill? Because by January now, that tax bill will be effective, and then people that's it. It will be effective, and people that's not the response of the FIRS concerning that this thing. And people like Peter Obi don't call say there must be clarity on this agreement where we get with France. How do we even have an agreement with another country for something as sensitive as tax without proper clarity? And some people don't they look at like say, excuse me, I hope say an Alpha Beta Lagos is not about to play nationally. So make I take your reaction, sir.
Honestly, this one, even me, I do not surprised though. I'm not surprised. Because of course our president was governor of Lagos, and we know how now tax be their major preoccupation for Lagos. We saw it.
So the tax master.
I know everybody knows Tinubu for that one now. And then Asian occupied states. Now, the issue when Abu Samad raised today, Samad Dasuki, a very serious one. And I'm calling on the media and the public in general. All of us must look at for them to find out true, make compare. Waiting they gazetted and waiting this will pass through, because some of the provisions of the tax law when they propose for next year, I sit down and think I'm saying, it shows that Nigerian lawmakers see this thing like this person. Because what I think they're trying to do is to impose on Nigerians a strange tax regime, like a copy and paste tax regime from the first world in a third world country like Nigeria. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it wants to work.
Well, you know, they give us the resources where the other people, they give them their people.
Actually, I don't understand how they want to do it. So I've been supposed to, you should say this, assembly, say this thing. So when this man raised this issue, I said, talk to myself, I think I'm like this. And this so-called relationship with France over tax, I don't understand exactly what will be the intention. You know, I find it difficult to understand a situation where most countries are trying to break free from France. We now, they carry ourselves, go submit to France. Don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against France, but I still feel something is not wrong. Something is not right about the relationship with France. Especially now when they don't enter tax matter. Well, now developing story, like I said, I've reached out to some of our colleagues to say this matter must not die. Make we like this ourselves go pick those two copies and do further investigation on this relationship between FIRS and the French government over our tax. Make we dig deep and reach the bottom of the matter to understand what did really happen, because this matter affects all of us. We have seen how the government policy, from subsidy to flotation of the naira, and now this tax law, we don't say, it's beginning to look like nothing good comes out of this government. They don't look like that.
So, Oga, if you look at this letter very well, I think for the paragraph 2, it talks, say, everything we will get to do with them, they focused on solely on technical assistance. And then I
What
think
kind of technical assistance are we talking about?
So somewhere around paragraph 4, the contact say the MOU does not include provision of technical services. How can it concentrate solely on technical assistance but does not provide technical services? Because now with those technical services, now you go fit use they exposed to our data, because they try prove to us say they no go fit expose our data to France. So these are questions that Nigerians are asking, that
exactly
where no they added up. It is where we
know add up at all.
If they say other countries don't do them, other countries don't collect like this from people, well, give us example of country. We don't know country where they give us example of.
Exactly.
How person go take design a tax system, analytics, compliance frameworks, and perhaps enforcement of logic without understanding the data and not touching the data.
Exactly.
So these are things where people they ask, and that was make us say I will call you more, we'll talk about them, because why January just the next tomorrow.
Now let's tomorrow.
The amount where they use borrow money, not be the amount where they use pay and back. So the amount where they use explain this thing, or whether they use tell us, not be the amount where they go use hold us, will not pay tomorrow.
Exactly.
And they go use hold us. So
exactly.
Now we'll talk about them.
Yes. So, like I said, a developing story. So we're going to do more investigation on this matter to reach to the bottom of this matter, because even me are the one that what cause all this, this attempt to obfuscate. Something supposed to play. I don't hear before Nigeria and any other country get any MOU we have to do with tax collection for Nigeria. Nigeria, they buy technology, they engage services of professionals to manage their taxes digitally and otherwise. No one they're different. But to have MOU, I honestly, some developments these days, they make me wonder, what thing they really happen? Who really in charge of our Nigerian government? And so this relationship with France is becoming more and more suspicious to the average Nigerian. But again, I won't be able to say much on this until I do my investigation properly.
All right, sir.
Okay, and understand what really they happen. Right, especially, sir. I will take my time to read the gazetted version of the tax bill and the one passed by the assembly as raised by Rabiu, so that I can come up with a more informed position, because this is just a developing story.
Okay, sir. To our shock and utmost dismay, this afternoon, we hear say Nigeria no meets their 2025 targets for revenue. Because it shocked a lot of us. Remember, say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, sometime in August, we tell us, say we don't meet our revenue generation for that August. And say this one, even with non-oil revenue, now we use MITAMO. So we don't meet our 2025 target. Now, what they tell us, say, the coordinating minister, the review, say, Nigeria government missed its 2025 fiscal year target by 30 trillion naira in terms of revenue generation. 30 trillion. No vex. This now can't take us back to waiting people to talk. I feel like say sometimes some people for government and propaganda they use rule. Because how can a whole president? It was on a national TV they talk with a mouth, not be say the right statement for her. Say we don't meet our targets. The statement there everywhere. Then right now, the Minister of the Economy, the coordinating minister, they tell us say a whole 30 trillion shortfall now we get. Help me explain, sir. Maybe
I'm not surprised that they get shortfall. No. Look, I tell you something today.
Okay, sir.
It's when Tinubu come and remove subsidy from petrol and floated the naira. I took him, they say, you have to come and pass me in the other citizen. Because the kind of inflation it will create, it will increase cost of governance to a level where government no go fit cope easily. So look at tell you what's happened to the government. Due to the cost of doing business in Nigeria today, cost of production, cost of everything, what the government supposed to spend 1 billion for before this policy came into place? Government needs to spend 10 and 15 billion for the same thing. Imagine a devaluation of a currency from less than 500 naira to almost 1. Do the math. Then the increase of petrol price from less than 200 naira to 1,000 naira. Do the math. And at these two, they drive inflation for Nigeria, because everything depends on energy, petrol, and foreign exchange.
Yes. I remember say energy itself in terms of lights don't also increase very astronomical, including above them, not even just band A people, including people where they band B, C, and D. They don't increase them within the past few months without making noise about it. Because I am a testimony. I did for band C, and I be they buy 50,000. I think I used to buy 1,000 plus something units for 50,000. Right now, it's only 700 units I get for 50,000. And remember now, for inside this administration, now I realize, say, they actually tax our light bill. When you're paying light bill, they remove tax inside. I don't know if you've noticed.
Exactly. Now.
So what is going on? And Nigerians are already paying these things without knowing that they're paying for it. I check my receipts when I make such payments, and that's why I am disinformed. So what did they happen?
Now, government responsibility don't increase too, because one, government increase minimum wage. Government also gets plenty agencies. In fact, federal government is the largest employer of labor for Nigeria. Workforce everywhere, the whole armed forces, police, immigration, all done under federal government. Yes. Thank you.
Because we never get state police yet.
Thank you. So, while more revenues are going to the state in terms of naira value anyway, from savings from so-called subsidy, the federal government own share of savings no fit carry responsibility in the light of the reality of the today's cost of running business. So government can project revenue to fit cover up in expenses, right? But why didn't it meet that target? Nigeria still struggle to produce between 1.5 and 1.7 million barrels per day of crude oil. So our external revenue still static, increase. So average, you can call it 1.7, average.
Yes.
So it's still static for a country of 200 million plus people. And government don't get another source of revenue for external receipts other than crude oil and maybe LNG dividends at the end of the year. All of that revenue stream come from tax, tariffs, and all that. But one thing government don't realize, we say, if government don't do quality spending if government don't get healthy external receipts, healthy ones, and now spend qualitative spending into the economy, that is fund government properly, fund projects, fund procurement, fund services, pay decent wages, it will not create a vibrant economic environment that can internally generate revenues. For example, for me to pay tax, I need to earn well and spend. You say you bought electricity now and you pay tax, right? There's a point to get to. If you are so impoverished you can't buy electricity, will you be able to pay that tax?
No, you can't.
If you can't buy provisions, basic provisions for the house, milk, beverage, and all of that, will you pay VAT?
No, you can't. You can't.
If you can't run your business sustainably, will you pay something?
Some people actually got themselves off the grid. Some people, they don't even see light at all because they get lights for their area, but they don't afford to pay for their
Many companies fold up because of cost of running businesses.
Absolutely.
All of this now loss of revenue, internet generated revenue for federal government. And we want them, say these two policies will create this problem.
Yeah, but he said they were both, they did both decisions that nobody else could venture
into. Before they remove them, during and after, I was one of the voices. Not only four of us actually criticized subsidy removal for this country where myself, Professor Perogi from the US, Falano from Falano SA, and once in a while. Yes. Then once in a while too, Balazaka too, volunteered his own voice too. But now me and Farouk Perogi, mainly for the whole country, right? This is what I want to show. It's like suffocating a human being to save money for the air the person is breathing. And the person now develop multiple organ failure. When what you save from that air, no fit solve. Nothing Nigeria they go through that one.
Well, no vex. So the IMF and the World Bank we advises, and when they comment, say these decisions are right. Most of the countries where they come from, they subsidize a thing or the other for their people, especially energy.
They subsidize energy and where they come from.
Why our government go listen to them without also making proper research? That's a question people ask. More so in the way
irresponsibility
implement them.
Irresponsibility.
Hey.
A responsible government is supposed to know, say, see, we can tell you, energy security is non-negotiable. They don't play with them. Because energy is to the living things, to what me and you, as me and you do so. What energy is to the economy is what air is to me and you. As me and you do so. If you wake up in the morning, if we not eat immediately, if we not drink water immediately, if we fast for the day, sir, as long as we get air over the breathe, air keeps us alive, we can perform, we can do a lot of tasks without eating food for 1 day, for 2 days, for 3 days. But no mommy can survive without air for a few hours. That's why God give us air free of charge, but He don't give us food for free. If you recall, When Adam and Eve they look for God trouble, go chop forbidden fruit. They come pursue them from the Garden of Eden, come back to Africa, make they come hustle. God deprived them of everything for free. God say you go toil, you go suffer to chop, woman go suffer to buy picket and all of that. But God leave them with air for free. Because without that, Adam and Eve will die before they will land for earth. So you give them that air for free so that they fulfill toil. Not be energy, not be petrol, not be gas, not be diesel for the economy. So most governments, when not them be like God for earth, now the road be like God for earth. Government not be the God who know for earth. Also no say wait to economy must have something to keep them alive. And for that to happen, energy must be affordable, available, and accessible. That's what they call energy security. So for every government, when get sense, energy security, when entail availability, accessibility, and affordability, every government they prioritize energy security and they spend for them. And that affordability component of energy security makes it mandatory. Mandates government to subsidize energy where it is required. But we all say nobody to run, no need. So we to run now with the ban petrol and market rates. The only oil country in the world that does that. The only oil producing country in the world that buys petrol at the rate that the man in New York will buy it. Not in Nigeria. Now the economic crisis of this is so if come out of. When affect us, affect government. Now if I chop the food, I go pay tax now. Now if I earn enough, I go pay healthy pay. So if I do in public, how I want to give money to government. So government now should realize that the success of citizens, the prosperity of citizens, is its own source of wealth. You can't impoverish people and expect to get tax revenue from them. Who won't pay the tax? So ordinarily, at this point, they're supposed to be thinking out of the box now on how to solve this problem. And the one way to solve it, my dear, now one thing I don't talk about over and over again. Any government will sit down, cross leg, cross hand, say no go do business, go end up like Nigerian government. You go to borrow, you go to tax, and you go share for hand.
So you don't believe, say, just unlike waiting the president said, Tinubu administration, they talk, say they get hold of this thing, they know what they do, and they get their game on. You don't believe, say,
they don't get game on.
Because they praise themselves, so they've done very well. So you don't believe
they don't get game on. They can't pay contractors. They can't pay their own contractors. They can't pay National Assembly constituency project fund. They can't fund it.
So what are we doing? Why are we praising? Why have they been praising themselves that are doing?
No. If you don't praise, you can praise yourself. But we Nigerians, we do here. We know say there's nothing praiseworthy about what they do.